Pray for the peace of Jerusalem. May those who love you be secure. May there be peace within your walls and security within your citadels. For the sake of my family and friends, I will say peace be within you. For the sake of the house of the Lord our God, I will seek your prosperity. Wow, we would have never believed it. We're on Spotify, we're on Apple, we're on Google. Go out there and listen to us. So we're excited about it. We're glad you're excited about it too. Relevant rants, man. Are we going to rant today? Black Friday.
Yeah.
You know, we're here on October 13th, and we've heard that Hamas has said, make it a worldwide jihad. And I'm like, hide and watch. That ain't going to happen.
Tom, I'm legitimately, like I said this last week, and I hate being like a broken record, but like it's hard to ignore. I'm angry.
You know, Mike,
I'm legitimately angry.
I'm very angry because it's affected some of the things that my family's involved with and the groups we're involved with. But, you know, I mean, I told you last night, you know, I mean, I'm not putting anything past these crazy terrorist groups and the people in the United States that buy into this crap.
Yeah,
last night I took my shotgun out of my gun safe.
Yeah.
And I put it in the room. Hey, you know, I mean, Israel didn't know this was going to happen.
Right.
So if somebody's going to say, hey, make a worldwide jihad, hey, try to come to my house.
Yeah.
I got my dog out. You know my dog.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Oliver alone will tear him up.
Oliver is ready, dude. I mean, I'm telling you. You know, I mean, it's just, so here we are today, and we're living in the week after the Hamas attacked Israel unprovoked and did the worst crime since the Holocaust.
I don't know if you know this, but they actually came out on video. Propaganda from Hamas. This isn't like, you know, anti-Hamas. This is Hamas's own stuff. Have come out and said, we've been planning this.
With Iran's green light.
Yeah, we've been planning it for 20 years. We wanted to do this, and we've saved up all this money, and we've kind of lulled everyone to sleep to think that, oh, yeah, they're not going to do anything. We've been planning this the entire time.
Yes.
They've come out and said that.
It's part of their charter. They want Israel wiped off the map.
Yeah.
I haven't heard that from Israel with them. And it's just amazing to me. And if you're out there, and I'm surprised if you are listening to us and you're still buying into this Gaza Strip Palestinian crap.
Yeah, it's
they're terrorists, they're murderers, and you know, Mike, I am even done.
Tom, there's no words, really. I mean, like when you go and you rape women to that degree, or any degree,
off.
Frankly, but cut babies' heads off, children, innocent children,
older
women,
people,
Tom, like
burn them alive.
I'm literally sitting here getting fired up, and I just want to punch somebody in the face right now.
Well, you know, Mike, let's talk about this real quick too, before we show our first video. It says it all. Is if the I'm tired of hearing the innocent people in the Gaza Strip, because in 2005 Israel gave them the Gaza Strip. Said, we're out. We're tapping out. You elect your new leaders. Who'd they elect? Hamas.
Terrorist organization.
Hamas. So wouldn't that be equating to the German people electing Hitler?
It would be.
To represent us?
But the only difference is when the German people elected Hitler, they didn't actually initially know how bad he was.
Yes. Yeah, they knew how bad the Hamas was.
Yeah.
So I think if the innocence there is probably the babies and the kids.
I think there's some innocent civilians, okay? Granted, and
Yes.
I do know
I'll go there
there's
too.
civilians on both sides that are going to get sadly killed over this war, and I'm not for that on either side, frankly.
Either side.
I don't but these animals, they're not even human.
They aren't human.
These animals that have done unspeakable things. Tom, I can't even verbalize the level of anger and like.
Well, I'm beyond disappointed in our elected officials who keep on. So, Mike, you and I are going to talk about this. So let's go ahead and play our first video, and it comes for the anti-defamation leader, the CEO, who is on a liberal show,
MSNBC,
MSNBC,
Yeah.
which is a liberal leftist garbage
propaganda machine.
Yeah, garbage machine.
So while I am sad and trying to cope, I'll be honest, I am angry. I am angry with the world that allowed the
Yeah,
dehumanization of Israelis
The country, our
and
country.
sanitized the terrorism of Hamas.
The
I must
sanitized.
say,
And
I
it's going to
love
continue
this
to happen.
show,
It's going to
and
even
I
go
love
more
this
so.
network. But I've got to ask, who is writing the scripts?
Yeah, really.
Hamas?
I-
The people who
Yeah,
did this, they are
Hamas
not
is writing the
fighters,
MSNBC
Jonathan.
scripts.
They are not militants, and I'm looking right at the camera. They are terrorists. It is a barbarian
Right. For anyone to think
who
they're a legitimate
rapes
government organization.
and brutalizes women, who kills children in front of their parents,
And then their parents, too.
and then brings them over to Gaza, who literally, we've heard all these reports, and we know these aren't just reports. These were filmed
By them.
gleefully
Yeah.
by
Right,
the
right.
barbarians.
They're putting out the stuff
who
saying, hey,
committed
look what we did.
these
We're bad people.
grotesque
And we're
crimes.
saying censor it.
Yeah.
They filmed, for
People need to
example,
know
an
this.
elderly woman in her home in one of
This is
these
crazy.
towns. They burned her alive in her house because she was
Yeah.
too infirm to take out.
What's wrong with these
And,
people?
parading women.
And people,
So-
and
bleeding
these
from the
crazy
crotch
college
because they were
students,
raped
Harvard, what is
throughout
wrong
Gaza
with
while
you?
people hoot
Right.
and holler and cheer.
Well,
and if you're
so
wondering
what I've
if I'm
said is, what is
exaggerating,
wrong with
please,
people?
I beg of you, everyone watching and everyone at this network, just watch the footage.
Okay, we know that these terrorists are twisted. What is wrong with the people that think that this is okay or even
Elected
in
them
any way
to
equivalent?
represent you. There again, how can you be out there? Oh, Democrats, I'm going to talk to you. Joe Biden, come on, let's get a clue.
Come on, man.
He is a worthless president. Then we're talking about living in where we got the czar of California, Newsom, crime family of the Browns and the Pelosi's, and he's turning California into Chinafornia. We call him Comrade Newsom. You got to be kidding me if you're out there. I was a Democrat. I voted for Jimmy Carter. I came to my senses. If I would still be there, I didn't move. My political view didn't move. The party did. And right now, the Democratic Party is a bunch of socialist communists.
Well, what's crazy? Okay, so we were talking about this earlier, right? And what's crazy is people are like, oh, they don't think. No, they legitimately believe that they are smarter than you. That they need to tell you what to eat, where to go to school, what job to work, how much you need to make, where to live, and provide for you because you're incapable of doing it yourself.
What did Hillary Clinton say?
That
Republicans
we need to reprogram.
need to get reprogrammed.
Yeah.
That's Nazi Germany. And we got this elected official, Rashida Tlaib, and she doesn't have the decency. Let's play the video.
Do you support Israel's rights to defend themselves against this brutality?
All you have to do is say no.
Right.
You can't comment about
I don't care
Hamas
which
terrorists
side you're
chopping
on,
off babies'
even if
heads.
you're pro-Palestinian or whatever.
And you can look at one point, she wants to turn around and say something.
She just wants to punch her in the face.
Comment on Hamas terrorists chopping off babies' heads.
Yeah, I
Just
mean,
say no. What's
like-
wrong with you?
You have nothing to say
Are you
about
stupid?
Hamas terrorists
well,
chopping off babies'
yeah,
heads.
brainwashed
You an
maybe.
idiot?
Uh,
That's a biblical term.
Do you condone
idiot.
what Hamas
I'll use
has
another
done,
biblical
chopping
term,
off
ass.
babies' heads, burning
Yeah.
children alive, raping women in the street?
I mean, inhumane.
Yeah. Why can't you just say no?
Right. You
Hey, this is good too.
You have no comment about children's heads being chopped off?
And this dude, what's wrong with this dude?
he's her bodyguard, I
Congressman,
guess.
Why do you have a Palestinian flag outside your office if you do not condone what Hamas terrorists have done to Israel?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't understand why you can't answer the question, right?
Israeli lives don't matter to her. She's an
But that's the
American
truth.
elected official who's taken an oath to support our Constitution. And she can't even have the decency. Woman, resign. If you're out there and you elected her, what's wrong with you?
Right. Well, I mean, she's put on an act to pretend like she's taken an oath to defend the Constitution.
But she's not
But
the
she's
only
not
one.
defending the Constitution.
She's not the only one. She's got a squad with her too.
Oh yeah, AOC and all of those other ones.
Yeah.
They're a bunch of losers.
The Democratic squad gets a pass from the party leadership. What's wrong with the party leadership? And I love this person that's doing the press conferences, but she won't even answer the questions. Why are they not getting on to these the elected officials that aren't at least commenting? I mean, the decency from other people out there on the MSNBC shows. I mean,
Well, I mean, this is Biden's mouthpiece,
well,
right? So
I agree with Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk is saying it, so is Ben Shapiro, and they're both friends of ours in our network. They're saying that the narrative is going to change, and it already is, because they're trying to say it. We have an NBC News thing here where they're saying Israel intensifies the retaliation after the massive Hamas terror attack. Well, the Hamas terror attack isn't requiring them to retaliate. They're defending themselves.
Yeah, right. Well, and they have to. They don't have a choice, because here's the thing. What are they going to do? Do nothing? Like, first of all, someone breaks into your house and kills your family. Are you going to do something about it? Abso-freaking-lutely, and I don't care if I go to prison for the rest of my life. But
TMZ is reporting there are reports of babies being killed amid the chaos in Israel, including graphic descriptions of Hamas terrorists going in and beheading infants. It's like you got these, and I've got to give respect for these people that are coming on these shows that are anti-American and telling the truth.
Yeah,
it takes guts.
Yeah,
like the guy from the Anti-Defamation League who just says, who's writing the script to MSNBC? Hamas? Yeah, they are.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. But the thing is, we remember back how many years ago? 2 years ago now. Biden left Afghanistan, left all of the weaponry,
which is apparently coming back and being used.
Yeah, being used in this war right now, right?
That's allegedly what they're telling us.
And my big question is, who got the money from that payoff? Because that wasn't accidental.
Well, Biden. Hey, the Hamas has already said that Biden giving them the $6 billion to Iran for hostages is what promoted them partly to take hostages.
Yeah.
So good job, Biden.
Yeah, we don't negotiate with terrorists unless you're Biden, and then you do, right?
Yeah, well,
that's
and now they're having a problem with not giving them the money. Of course, we have the first press secretary that left, and I understand why she left the Biden administration as a press secretary, because you can't keep defending that knucklehead. And so she's, Paskey, she's saying that they didn't get the money yet. Well, if you're going to give me $6 billion, I'll spend my $6 to get that back. They think we're stupid is what they do. And maybe the kids at Harvard aren't learning anything.
Well, they're being brainwashed. They're learning something. They're just not learning actual reality.
They're learning when they come out and say nonsense that the people that were going to hire them aren't going to hire them now.
Right. Well, that's good.
So you come out there and we have all this. You know what really broke my heart the other day is when Israel was asking nursing mothers to basically donate breast milk because they have so many mothers that were killed and infants that are living. Isn't that a disgrace?
Yeah.
I mean, it's so you have an opinion out there, Israel versus Hamas. There's only one thing that Israel can do is defend itself.
Well,
it's not them versus Hamas. Hamas is the aggressor.
Well, but what's wild is Israel's like, hey, if you're in Gaza, get out. Yeah. Because we're gonna flatten the place. They have to, and they have to. They absolutely have to.
Did you think they were going to do anything else?
Right.
But like you said, Mike,
if they don't,
Hamas has planned this.
Right. Well, Hamas has planned it for 20 years. But if Israel does not go in and flatten the place, then who's coming next? Hezbollah, Iran, Afghanistan,
Hezbollah has already pitched
ISIS.
the missiles in.
Yeah. I mean, it's a coordinated effort, right, to come against Israel.
Well, so apparently, they're saying that Palestinians are reporting that another senior Hamas official was killed, one of the founders of the terrorist organization. So I'm glad they're putting a new face to the name Hitler, because that's what this guy is.
I mean, literally, this is anti-Semitism at its worst.
It is. Well, I like what Ben Shapiro said. At least the Germans realized they were doing wrong,
right,
and tried to cover it up when they knew that they were going to be defeated. I mean, they're like, oops, we can't let the world see this.
Well, these guys don't value human life because they don't care, because they're like, well, if we die, we're going to be in paradise, right? But the other thing is, like, they have no actual reality because, one, their logic is just so far off base from the way you think or I think or you think, Tom. But these guys are on heroin, PCP, all sorts of drugs, emboldening them to do these things because they're actually cowards, because there's no way they can, I can't even imagine, I can't even say the words out of my mouth, the things that these guys have done. And the only way any human can do that to it, and they're not even human.
No morals.
I don't even know how to say this,
No
Tom.
no morality. They're cowards.
Yeah.
Because
but they have to be drugged up in order to even do these things, and these are animals.
Well, you know what, Mike? If people are in America and don't think that they won't do this to us, because if you haven't caught a clue, they're talking about wiping out the Jewish and Christians.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't think this is not going to happen in America, you're fooling yourself. With the president that's in office right now and his policy and his administration, we have let, I think the latest count was some 5 to 8 million people in, and they've caught some terrorists.
Well, but Tom,
they didn't catch all of them.
The thing is, there's people coming from other countries other than South and Central America that are coming in through our borders. I say borders as if there were borders. That are coming in through the lower part of the United States.
It's a welcome mat.
Right.
Come into our country.
I mean, at this point, aren't we flying them in? Like, how can we get them in faster?
I think last week we had the video that we showed the video of the border guard that they had 3 busloads of immigrants, which aren't immigrants, they're criminals because they're coming in legally and they're being escorted in by our border patrol. They let 3 out, a border patrol agent. A guy says, "Can I go to Chicago?" He goes, "You can go anywhere you want." They're not vetted. And this is something, if you don't think it's happening and you don't think your mind's going to be changed, listen to this well, not last, but a video on MSNBC.
What are your feelings about the attacks against Gaza right now?
She thinks that's bad.
Yeah.
How can
I
the
must
government...
say, look, you're looking for a symmetrical situation, and I must say, it isn't.
It's not.
If you were dealing with a war who is between 2 countries, countries don't take children hostages.
They do
sorry.
not.
It's against
What's wrong with you?
the laws of war.
It's
It's
not even a
against
journalist.
humanity. It's against
What a stupid
anything
question.
that we all
Right.
believe in. Every time we had missiles shot at us, I used to say to my children that they should be sympathetic towards the children of Gaza because they suffer a lot more than they do.
Right.
I'm not sure I still believe in it now. And
What do you
I
say
must
about
say,
that,
the
woman?
only worry I have
Yeah.
now from the bombings in Gaza is the fact that my children are there. I can't be sympathetic to animal human beings. Well,
Right.
they're not really
Yeah.
human beings.
Right, they're not.
Who came into my house, broke everything, stole everything, took my
And we're supposed
children
to
from
feel
their
bad for them?
bedrooms,
Took her children.
and took them to the Gaza
What is this
Strip.
girl? Is Andrea
Israel never
Mitchell?
done
What
that.
is she a
And-
He will
mom?
never do.
Right. And you know the sad part, this mother's sitting
So
here
there
talking
is
about
no
this,
symmetry. I'm
probably realizing she's never going to see her kids again.
Yes. Can't even imagine that. But she was sympathetic at one point, and she's no longer sympathetic, Mike.
Yeah.
And I think this is what the Hamas has done, is ripped the covering off of anybody who thought there was a sympathy due them.
Right. Right.
You know,
Well,
'cause they had it.
That's all they are, is terrorists. But that was their whole plot all along. Hey, we're going to trick everybody into thinking we're okay people. When
Well,
they're-
you know, the Democratic Socialists of America are cheering the murder and the kidnapping of Israelis at the hands of Hamas terrorists. They're cheering it.
I believe that.
There are celebrations in our country celebrating these murderers.
well, and a lot of them's probably these ignorant college kids that
Yeah,
have been
they are.
brainwashed
They
by
are.
the professors, by the socialist, communist professors at these colleges. And this is one of the reasons, Tom, and I don't want to go too deep down this rabbit hole, but one of the reasons why I felt God told me not to go to college at that time, right?
I don't doubt it.
And I also am very against college in general. Like, my kids have no plans of going to college.
There again, that's why I believe our kids are taught their morality at the home. And
Yeah.
both of my kids graduated college and with upper graduate degrees. My daughter Taylor did. And they retained their morality, their ethics, and their faith.
That's
through
not
college.
common.
My daughter Tessa got pushed back in Cal Lutheran,
course she did.
which is a Christian college,
Mm-hmm.
and they are not a Christian college. But they're even
There is Christian college as much as USC is a Christian college, right?
they actually have a terrorist that they captured in Israel, and they were asking him why they were kidnapping women. And in this interview, he says to dirty them, to rape them. That was their plan. And I mean, they go into this rave or music festival where there's supposed to be a peace festival.
Yeah.
And they kidnap this girl. And you could tell, they put her in a truck, and you could tell that, and this is what the guy said, that her crotch was bloody because she had been raped.
Yeah.
And here she is. A 30-year-old Shani Look was a German citizen visiting Israel to attend the music festival for peace held near the Gaza border. Now her life has been turned upside down from Palestinian terrorists and murderers. And I can't even imagine that, because you would think the German government would be so upset with this.
Yeah, especially imagine their history, right?
I cannot imagine the parents. I agree with what Charlie Kirk said, because they're going to try to sanitize this. So that, you and I we're pretty apt. We've had our shows for 4 years now.
Yeah.
The internet's already sanitizing some of this.
Oh, yeah.
And I've told you, I watched Ben's show the other day, and if you're out there, and I know you have to subscribe to Daily Wire, but you need to see these videos. I was shocked, and it's even hard to say it, when there was these terrorists that came in, and there was a guy on the floor who wasn't dead yet, and they started hitting him with a hoe to chop his neck off.
Mm-hmm.
A garden hoe.
Right. But I want to ask you, because I think it's important that we say this. Why should people watch it?
Well, they need to know what Hamas,
these animals, these barbarians,
what they
are
will
capable
do,
of.
and do not think they won't do it here
To
in
you.
America. And don't fool yourself, and don't think that they are not here, because they are here
Right.
through Biden's open door policy for our borders. Because you have an American mom. American citizens have been killed and kidnapped. And she spent she's 67, so she's 2 years older than I am, but she says she spent her life advocating for Palestinian rights. And then Hamas came for her. It's her daughter Karen described her mom as someone who worked as an administrator in a local college, as someone who had a sweet, big heart, who everyone knew and loved, who spent a lifetime advocating for the right of Palestinians, including those who live in Gaza. And now she is being held captive in Gaza. And it just breaks your heart that people were fooled. And what do they say? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
Yeah.
I think Americans...
Israel is not going to be fooled.
No, and I think America needs to wake up. There was a military leader, and I think he is leading the war, talked about how they are going to at least conduct themselves as a country who is at war. Isn't it too bad that we have to have rules that this terrorist organization, Hamas, that people back and give money to, that people support in America, that doesn't support the laws of war? Now I go back to World War II, and I think of the ones who didn't support the laws of war were the countries that we were at war with.
Yeah.
Nazi Germany, Japan, Italy. They didn't support that. So now you have Hamas.
Well, you're playing by two different sets of rules.
Yes.
And how do you fight with two different sets of rules?
Well, Mike, let's don't get all negative, because I think we have two stories coming out of Israel that need to be, maybe examined and explained a lot, because we have an Israeli woman who's 25, and she's being heralded as a hero for killing terrorists and leading a team that saved a kibbutz from Hamas. She was the kibbutz military leader, and she says that she realized that the sounds were different when she was hearing the explosions on Saturday morning, and she realized that the kibbutz was under attack. So she opened up the armory, armed the kibbutz security detail, and they had a plan, and they killed 25. She killed 5 herself. Good job. I mean, as you're thinking about this is a success.
Yeah.
And here we have 2 pictures of her there. One, I think she's in her kibbutz. There's a dog, and the other one is she just probably on downtime, just being her.
Yeah.
But she had to arm herself and fight. And then we have another one who was of a retired Israeli Defense Forces major general, recounts when his son called him, because he lived in a kibbutz, and said, "Dad, we need help," because they were in their safe rooms. And he is 62, and I really appreciate that, because when you're 62, you have less effort or energy than you did when you were younger. But he took it upon himself, and he said, son, I'm coming. And he did. But along the way, he had to stop to help other people who were wounded and soldiers. And as he did, he said that he joined other Israeli IDF soldiers that were fighting Hamas, and actually fought Hamas into his residence and into where they got to the safe room. And he was, his granddaughter heard his voice through the door and said, Grandpa's here.
Mm-hmm.
What a great story. What a great opportunity for a girl to defend her country, and then a dad to defend his country and his kids. So, Mike, you have anything else to add? I think we've worn this subject out, but I think you know our true feelings. And if you're watching us now, you're probably just our local viewers.
Yeah.
Because I'd be shocked if you are watching us and you still believe in the Hamas, the Palestinians in Gaza's role. So I think it's important here, Mike, to say that it's not the Islam people that are causing this. It's that radical persuasion of the Muslims.
Yeah,
who are Hamas,
exactly. Radicalized and
Hezbollah,
militant.
yes, ISIS,
Right.
Which is running Afghanistan again now, which is we've got a friend who lost his arm.
Yep.
In Afghanistan. And, and Mike has never said that he is upset about what he gave to that country.
Well, we have another friend that lost 2 legs.
Yeah, but I can't believe that Biden pulled out and left it to him, and now ISIS is that. So if you're out there, and I love it, people can choose to live how they want. I disagree with you. If you're out there, I saw a sign on the internet that said, "Queers that support Hamas." And I just want to tell you, if you really want to do that, go live in Afghanistan. If you choose to profess your gender identity, they will push you off a building.
Or worse.
Yes, because that's what they say they're doing to people who are coming out homosexual or different gender than they believe in. Because there again, if you go back to the Muslim religion, we're all working with the same first 5 books. Where God created the world, Adam and Eve, marriage between a man and a woman, morality, laws, and punishment, morality and ethics. We're all dealing with that, and they take that a little more serious than we do here in America.
Yeah, but I don't think all Muslims are bad. And
Not
I think
at all.
That's the point.
We've got friends, Mike, that we love and believe in that faith system, and I'm not trying to talk them out of that faith system, even though I do have some questions. Like people have questions of me with Christianity.
Right.
And I don't mind talking about this. But there's a verse in Psalms 122, 6-9, says, "Pray for the peace of Jerusalem. May those who love you be secure. May there be peace within your walls and security within your citadels. For the sake of my family and friends, I will say peace be within you. For the sake of the house of the Lord our God, I will seek your prosperity." So I'm going to end on that note.
Yeah,
Right?
that's a good place to end it. Thanks for watching. Pray for Israel.
Yes, pray for Israel.
Have a good weekend.
And pray for comfort for everyone who is losing loved ones.
Yeah, and be prepared.
America, be prepared.
Have a great weekend.